Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Talking Nerdy Podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Abby.
That is my younger sister.
That's true.
Today's topic, we are going to be discussing our top 5 scary movie must-sees.
Yes, for this Halloweeny season approaching.
Yeah, Nerd Herders is we're trying to do some Halloween-themed episodes of our podcasts. I think... pretty much, yeah. Talking Nerdy is going to be taking some Halloween flavors for the next month. So to clarify, what we're talking about, we're not necessarily going to rank them because I feel like that is too much of a challenge.
Yeah, I feel like I couldn't do that. It's like, choosing your favorite child.
Yeah.
In a way.
I mean, for us, yeah, our family's always kind of bonded over watching movies. We were raised on, not scary movies, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
There are different kinds of scary movies.
For sure. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go over our top 5 Halloween movies. Yes. These are movies that you cannot go through October without watching at least 13 times.
Pretty much, or else, part of you dies inside. Yeah. It's a disappointing feeling.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go ahead and start off. Have you thought about your 5?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard to pick, what top 5. That's so little. There's so little. Because it's like there are two real main there's 2 categories of movies that I watch in October. There are Halloween movies, and then there are scary movies.
Okay.
And then there's kind of like the middle of the Venn diagram of those two. There's scary Halloween movies.
The spooky butthole.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So just to clarify, what to you is considered a scary movie?
What is to me a scary movie is like a movie where if I'm sitting on the couch watching it, at some point I have to cover my eyes because I'm like, oh no, ooh, what's gonna happen? Like movies like pretty much like anything with suspense, slashers, so like The Strangers,
thrillers.
Yes, thrillers, stuff like that. Like I feel like movies like Saw, like those are I wouldn't even call that a scary movie. Like it's a disturbing psychological horror movie,
at one point in time
movie.
It may have been considered a scary movie, but we, at least people like our family, we've become so desensitized because we love watching like really twisted movies.
Right.
But sorry, just looking at the beanbag. Anyways,
looking at the beanbag.
Yeah, there's like the way the light reflected on it. I thought there was a big old rip in it because there's that small rip.
Oh yes.
But I thought the beans were being spilled.
Some beans are about to be spilled.
All right,
so I hear your top 5.
Number 5.
But yeah, so for me, October is a very atmospheric. It's a fun month. And so I kind of, for me, I'm going to put...
There's a lot of connotations associated with October, both in like emotional sensations as well as like what the senses actually experience.
There's a lot of weather changing.
It's a month of transition.
It really is. And
physically, spiritually, grammatically.
Emotionally, yeah, pretty much. So like I like to, for my number 5, for my solid number 5...
Okay, are you ranking them?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
so yours are ranked.
Mine are ranked.
Okay, I'll try and rank them in my head.
So like I have a number 1 and I have a number 5. That's all. But my 3.
Okay, that's fair.
My 2, 3, and 4, they're kind of they're chilling.
They can be mixed up.
Yeah. It's more like a pyramid.
Your 2, 3, and 4,
system.
not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
Okay,
pretty much. But my number 5, and this is pretty cheesy, but Alvin and Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman.
That's a good one, though.
I love that movie so much.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even think about that, but that movie is super
absolutely
good.
It's a kid's movie. It's not a scary. Actually, it can be. If you get
if
really
you're small enough.
Yes, yeah. It's really
eerie,
good. Yeah. It's got a lot of fun stuff in it because you got the whole Wolfman plot going on with the chipmunks and then having Theodore turn into a werewolf. But then there's also this Jekyll and Hyde scenario going on.
Exactly.
So it's got those 2 really fun stories. And you got Mr. Talbot is the neighbor, but Theodore's the real villain of the story because he's turning into the Wolfman and blah blah blah.
I remember watching that when it first came out. They actually showed it to us when we were at Kings River.
Yeah, that's where I saw it first.
Aaron, if you're listening, I don't know if you remember this, man, but I remember watching it as a child, and we grew up watching the original Wolfman. And the minute that Lawrence Talbot's on screen, I was like, oh, it's the Wolfman. Like, it just seeing the connection to the classic Universal film.
With his oddly conspicuous silver wolf cane.
Oh, yeah. Like, what's that all about?
What's that? Yeah. Well, I probably won't be relevant later on. Let's just pay that no mind.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, super. Love that movie. I love this song especially. Like, there's like one big main... I mean, there's like a million songs. I think it's a musical. But there's like the main song in it or whatever. It's just like, oh no, Theodore, what's happening to you? Oh no. It's cute. I love that movie. So that's my number 5 because... Ooh. I like to bake a lot in October especially, so I'll usually be in the kitchen baking something while that's going on in the background. Yeah,
you were saying earlier that you like there's certain Halloween movies that you don't necessarily have to sit and watch.
Yes, but I thoroughly enjoy them.
You can do other things while they're on, and it's still essential to the Halloween experience.
Yes, exactly. So I feel like there's a lot of movies that fall under that category.
Okay.
So like, yeah, movies that I don't necessarily sit down and divide my sole attention towards. Yeah. But like movies that I'll be like I don't know, be doing some kind of Halloween-y craft, or I'll be like making cookies, or I'll just be on my phone staring at Pinterest looking for Halloween inspiration, like costumes and decorations and whatnot.
So I'll go ahead and tell you my number 5 because it's very similar. It's kind of in the same vein as yours, but it's not animated, and I don't know if you've actually seen this movie. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Oh, there's my phone.
I watched that movie for the first time I think it was 3 years ago, and I haven't watched it since. But it was that exact same thing. I wasn't even watching it. I think I was doing my homework on the table, and Dad put it on in the living room. So it was kind of going on in the background, and I couldn't even pay attention to my homework after a while because I'm like, oh, this is so funny.
Okay,
so it was spooky and funny at the same time.
For me, the reason behind that, I'm a very nostalgic person. I very much like dwell in the past that I remember fondly. Which, there's a truth bomb for our audience there. That's something that everyone kind of more or less knows about me, but this is the first time I've really said that explicitly. But the reason I put Abbott and Costello in there, and this is for me personally, I would tell everyone to watch it just because A, it's super funny. B, it's got the classic 3. We've got Frankenstein, obviously, in the title. Dracula's in it, and the Wolfman is in it. They've all got a part to play.
Isn't the Mummy in it?
Not that I recall.
Oh no, I'm thinking of a coffin for Dracula. I think. Never mind.
So the kind of the big opening thing is the Frankenstein monster. Oh, actually, no. I'm mixing it up now. It's actually been a couple of years since I've watched the movie.
Yeah,
they get Dracula's coffin in that wax museum.
Yes, I thought that for some reason that was a sarcophagus.
And they're thinking that it's going to be like a mummified corpse inside, but then it turns out like, oh no, it's Dracula.
Right. Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I can't even remember the significance of Frankenstein. It's been a long time.
Oh, he was definitely there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't even remember who's who, which one's Abbott and which one's Costello, but like when one of them saw Frankenstein for the first time, he was like pantomiming he's like, oh, he's this big and his arms are out in front of him.
It's funny because it's like, it's got these, for me at least, it's got scenes like that you can remember so vividly, and they're so just like goofy, but at the same time, there's a really creepy element to it where Dracula has like hypnotized the ladies that the guys are going out on this date with, and it was like, when I was younger, it freaked me out. Because I didn't like the idea of being hypnotized. Oh, yeah. That's like a weird secret fear terrifying. Of mine.
Absolutely.
Man, all kinds of truths coming out on the Nerd Herders tonight.
October, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll get you.
It's the mysticism. But my favorite sequence in it, spoiler alert, by the way, is when they're in the hotel and Lawrence Talbot's in the room across from them in the hall, and he transforms and he like goes and knocks on the door to talk to him because he's hearing all this noise. And it's just this really kind of like dramatic irony slapstick, because we see the werewolf's in there, but every time he turns around, he's like behind him or something like that. Yes. And it's like this specific image of him eating an apple that he takes off of his table. And I very, very vividly remember watching that movie for the first time at our Vavi's house, our grandma's house, spending the night there.
Were you eating an apple?
When I was like 5 or 6. Yes, because she used to always refrigerate her apples, and they were always
Yeah.
super cold when you bit into them.
They were so crisp.
I know, they were real good, but super cold. But I remember eating the apple while watching the scene, and so it's like that movie resonates with my soul. It's a part of my history.
It touched
and
you.
It did. It's spooky. It's funny. I love it.
Yes,
That's my number 5.
That's a great number 5.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So, what is your number 4? I guess in whatever order you'd like to place them.
Well, I actually had originally put Alvin and the Chipmunks as number 6, and I was trying to think of that as an honorable mention, but no, that's taking up my number 5.
That's fair.
So my number 4. Now moving on to a movie that's also not really Halloweeny, but it is in the the mood, I think, of Halloween.
It's in the spirit of the spooky.
That's the word. The spirit of the spooky. Yes, the movie Clue with
Oh!
Stephen Curry. That is my number 4 because that is
Tim Curry?
Yeah, did I say Stephen?
You sure did.
Stephen Curry. Who's Stephen Curry?
Flames?
Oh yeah,
Flames on my face?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that movie so much because that is absolutely a movie that I do.
Smashing.
I'm on the edge of my seat and I am giving it my full attention because it's just so fun.
It is.
It's such a good movie.
And like, I don't know if Aaron still has it, but he for a time had a DVD of it that like it's choose your own ending. Like there's alternate endings.
Yes. Yeah.
For who committed the murder.
I think we may have that DVD.
Are you serious?
I think we do.
What the F? Okay.
Or maybe
that's
I
cool.
meant to get it and for some reason I didn't. I
Well,
don't know.
you know,
Depends on what
it's I
parallel universe
guarantee
we're in.
you we can find it at Target.
Probably.
If not, there is eBay
That's true.
or Amazon.
It's early
Always
enough
go
in the
to
month
eBay
we can get it
before
by
Amazon.
Halloween.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, I love that movie so much. I remember
cool.
the first time I watched it, it was I don't remember who it was with, but I remember that all the lights were turned off and we had candles lit and we were
That's
watching
awesome.
it.
That's so lit, fam.
It was. It absolutely was. Oh my gosh, it was great because I had never seen it before, and I mean I've played the game Clue, so I had a feeling.
Who has?
I
You
had
know
a
what's
feeling I
funny?
knew how it would end, but
I've played the Harry Potter Mystery at Hogwarts Clue more than I've played actual Clue.
yeah, you know, I didn't even know that we had owned at one point a Harry Potter themed Clue game.
Yeah, it's
until
in Mr. Huff's classroom
yeah,
cabinet.
that is where that is where I was first introduced to it.
Years
to my
ago,
7th grade math teacher. Or
I
history,
dug it
whatever
out
we taught.
in 8th grade when Aaron and I both had him as our teacher, and I went in there and like our cousin Brittany's her sheets from when we played. She like stayed here for like a week when we were little. I don't know if you remember.
No, I don't.
But we played it every single day, and her sheets were still in there. And I was like, Mr. Huff, this is real weird, but this is actually my game. My sister left it here years ago. Can I take it home? And he just gave me this look, and he's like, no.
Yeah, that is really messed up.
And like, I mean, I get it though.
The statute of limitations have expired on your ownership
I
of
should
this
have
game.
just stolen it.
Yeah. R.I.P. to that.
Yeah.
Because that's probably
Okay,
worth
so
a bit
man,
now.
okay, so what is it specifically about Clue? Like, if
It
you had to
is-
pinpoint one thing, what makes it a Halloween scary movie, spooky movie must see?
Okay, so for me, I think any relatively scary movie that involves a group of people being stuck in a house together. It's a dark and stormy night. It is like it's got all the cliches. It's got a pretty woman in a dress, a guy with a cool accent, somebody gets murdered, a corpse falls out of a closet onto somebody at some point. I think it happens like
She's a beautiful widow with a terrible secret.
Exactly. Yes, it's got all the cliches that you love to see put together. So it's just it puts you in the mood for Halloween. It's like a murder's been committed. Gasp!
There's been another murder.
Yeah, there's what's so funny is in the very opening scene, as all the guests enter the mansion, one by one, somebody stepped in dog poop at some point. So as all the guests enter one by one, you see the butler sniff the air like, what's this? And they all check their shoes, but nobody says anything about it. So you just see one by one everybody sniff and look at the bottom of their shoes. And it's like, that's something that like I like, you know, like when you're like 5 years old and you're in the backyard, you're like, oh no, did I step in something? And then you see these classy adults do it in this fancy mansion.
That movie
was like the epitome of high tier comedy.
It's such a cleverly written film.
Yeah.
You know, it's not trying too hard to be something it's not.
Yeah.
It's paced very well. The characters in it all have some sort of charisma about them.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Christopher Lloyd in it?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know people's names.
Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Great Scott, Marty!
Oh, probably.
He's like Professor Plum or something like that.
Probably.
I'm picturing him in spectacles. I don't know. I want to say he's in it, and I love Christopher Lloyd, so Yeah.
It is a great movie.
That is
yeah.
definitely a great movie.
It's a dark and stormy
That's a
night
fun movie to watch with friends.
Yes, absolutely.
First time I watched it was... I know for a fact I watched it with Aaron. I want to say there was a movie night at his house down the road when we watched it with his parents. They were like out of town or something, and I feel like he had a bunch of people over and we watched it.
Cool.
Either that or it was in our first apartment in Monterey when we were going to school together. I don't know.
Either
Aaron,
way.
you're going to listen to this later, I hope. Why don't you tell me in the comments below? The memory's there. The recall. It's bad.
I failed to recollect.
Excuse me, my God.
But yeah, so
not recollect.
It is a spooky movie.
That
good
is a
for
good one.
especially because we've been having lightning storms and stuff. It's making me want to watch it. It is. Oh gosh, it's good. So that's my number 4.
Okay.
Because I feel like you could watch that on either October 3rd or you could watch it on Halloween night.
For sure.
Like
for sure.
It's a versatile film.
Agreed.
It's good.
Agreed.
So that's my number 4.
Okay.
What is yours?
So I'm very torn on this because I have like an idea of a number 4, and I also have an idea of like basically a tied spot for 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
So I'm very kind of torn about that.
Well, explain your why.
So I'll go ahead and just put it out there right now. 2, 3, and 4 for me.
Mm-hmm.
In no particular order, they are all equally necessary, not just for me, but for anyone who's having a Halloween movie fest.
Yeah.
Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi.
Oh yeah.
The Wolfman, and this is no, definitely the Lon Chaney Jr. one because it's a classic. But I will say, as an honorable mention, the Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins, Emily Blunt remake, also starring Hugo Weaving.
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, it's so good. I have it on DVD. We need to watch it later. But it's very good remake. Stands up well. It pays homage to the original, and it's also a great movie. Shot beautifully, performed super fun. Again, doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just kind of a fun, spooky, gory movie.
Yeah.
But so back to my 2, 3, and 4. Dracula, Wolfman, and then this is also kind of a tie. I'm just listing a ton of movies right now. Good. Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein.
I've never seen the Bride of Frankenstein.
Don't think. Okay, so you really, really have to watch that one this year. But I feel like Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein.
I love Frankenstein.
Should absolutely never be watched as 2 separate movies. They are the same movie. They're 2 halves of one whole because one literally picks up right after the other. You know, you got Frankenstein, and literally, if you cut it where the credits are, and started the Bride of Frankenstein right after that whole introductory sequence that's supposed to be like a flashback to Mary Shelley telling Lord Byron about this spooky tale. Oh man, that whole intro bit is so melodramatic and just goofy, and he rolls his R's just so dramatically,
as one must.
It's beautifully done. But those movies, they're so classic and they're so creepy and wonderful.
Yeah.
And with regards to Dracula, very, very specific. It has to be the one with Bela Lugosi. I think it was like 1934 that it was made. But there is a version of it because originally it was released without any musical accompaniment. There was nothing. It was just it was more or less a silent film. Like, it honestly, they could have cut the dialogue and just had the title cards, and it would have played beautifully as a silent film because the iconography of it is like, it's breathtaking, you know? And it's actually interesting because I took a horror in film class my last semester of college, which I absolutely adored. And our teacher showed us that movie, and then right afterwards, we watched the Spanish version of it, which was shot with different actors, but it's the same script, same set, different cinematographer. Oh. And he actually used a lot more creative and kind of conceptual shots. It was interesting. I love the classic American version of it because I love Bela Lugosi's portrayal of the character. To me, he is Dracula. He always will be. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm on a tangent now. Point being, 2, 3, and 4, Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein / Bride of Frankenstein. Gotta watch them. They are wonderful, and I love them to death.
I remember I first watched Dracula and Frankenstein when I think I was literally like 6, because I remember I had like, it was like 9 o'clock at night and we had just finished watching Dracula and we were about to put in Frankenstein and it got cold, and so I ran to my bedroom to grab my little baby blanket to go and like get all cozy to watch it. And I was small, this is a blanket, and I tripped over it and fell face forward on the ground.
Oof.
And I lost my first tooth.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a story.
And so then I just kept on going down the hall, and I was a little kid and my mouth was all bloody, and I'm like, oh my gosh, let's watch it. And Dad's like, what's your face? What? And yeah, and so then we watched it and it was great. So that double feature has a special place in my heart.
Wonderful. I actually okay, so I know I was going off on a tangent, but I'm going to tie it back in because I started to say that there's a version of the 1934 Dracula that you need to see. It's the one that has the musical accompaniment, the score by Philip Glass, performed by the Kronos Quartet.
Ooh.
It is super creepy, bone-chilling, and it makes it a better movie.
I like my bones chilled.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good...
I like my bones chilled.
Yeah. That sounds
Speaking
like a
of
good
which, I
vibe.
found a bone at work today. It's in my backpack. I don't know whose it is, but it's mine now.
Well.
Anyways, okay, so when I was little watching the Dracula movie, there wasn't much about it that genuinely scared me except for that just super famous image of Bela Lugosi where it's like shadow, but then his eyes have the light going through. He's got that piercing stare with the wicked brow.
Oh yeah.
But this music, when I remember it was 2000 when they re-released all the Universal classics on VHS, and you were a baby, so there's no way you'd remember this. But when we went to go visit Mom when she was working at the old Long's Drugs, there was a kiosk up front that had all of them on there. And I remember Dad freaked out. He got so excited. He bought like everything there. You know, we got the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. And I want to say he gave the Bride of Frankenstein to Vavi, which is kind of funny.
That's funny.
But I remember the VHS had like a little bit right before it talking about Philip Glass and the Kronos Quartet. Cool. And at the end of that VHS, there was like a mini documentary of him talking about the music. But just that music would haunt my dreams, and I would wake up in a cold sweat because in my dream that music was playing. And like years later, I downloaded that soundtrack, and I still listen to it when I need something creepy, like if I'm writing for Dungeons and Dragons or just like a project that I want to be kind of creepy. It's good stuff.
That's how I feel about the Alvin and the Chipmunks soundtrack.
Yeah?
It chills me. It's good stuff.
I haven't listened to it that closely, so I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah, different levels, but the same flavor.
Yeah,
different brands, but the same flavor. Yeah, it's
nice.
It's good stuff.
All right, well, go ahead and what's your number 3?
Mine,
or 4 rather.
See, I considered putting like the classics, the good classics, on my list, but I felt like those kind of go without saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are on a whole other level compared to my my little register here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You've got a laundry list.
Yeah. But so then Clue Plague number 4. My number 3, I put in the movie Scream.
Oh,
which
okay.
I love that movie. I remember a couple years ago I was like, oh, I want to watch some of like the classic scary movies. The classic
staple of the early 2000s.
Yes. I was trying to get into the old scary movies, not horror movies, but like you know, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, like that kind of
the 80s movie kind of.
So then I watched all those, and then I finally got around to watching Scream, and I loved that movie. Yeah, because it's so well. I didn't realize that it was a parody at first, so then I was just like, "What, man? They're so meta." Here they are watching Halloween while being in a scary movie, and there's a scene where, gosh, I can't even remember I can't remember the actor's last name. Jamie, the guy who's in it, he's what's her face's best friend, the protagonist's best friend. He actually has a crush on her. Whatever. He's alone in a living room watching Halloween. And he's like,
oh yeah, okay, sorry, I know who you're talking about. Jamie Kennedy.
He's watching it, and he's watching Jamie Lee Curtis be stalked by this killer, and he's like, They're coming for you, Jamie. He's right behind you.
They're
He's
going
right
to
behind
get you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you got stinking Scream Ghostface right behind him, about to get him, and he's saying to the camera, "Watch out, Jamie. They're right behind you." And it's such a fun.
That's
bit.
like 3-tier meta.
Yeah, there's
insane.
a lot of layers going on in that movie, and there's so many. There's so many iconic scenes. Like there's oh man, I'm so bad at names. The blonde girl, the girl's best friend, she gets trapped. Spoiler alert.
Is it Drew Barrymore?
No, not Drew Barrymore.
Is it different? Okay. Yeah. Confession time. Yes. I've never seen Scream. I've never seen any of them.
It's so good. So I'm just gonna briefly describe the plot. You've got a girl who her mom was killed 1 year prior to the events taking place in this movie.
On Halloween?
No, not on Halloween. Just on some random day. So the movie gets like the scene is set with this girl named Casey Becker, Drew Barrymore. She gets killed, and everyone's like, "Oh no, who killed her?" And they're just like, "Hey, isn't it a coincidence that this is all taking place around the anniversary of your mom's murder?" And she's like, "Oh, don't talk to me about it." So yeah, it's all like it's that kind of thing. The killer's back. He's trying to get revenge now on the daughters. He's like reenacting everything.
Okay.
You've got a group of kids who are in a house and they're being picked off one by one. So it's one of those. They're specifically performing all the cliches, but with a twist. It's the movie that acknowledges the killer always comes back for one final scare. They say that right above his body, right before he does it.
Oh, wow.
And he licks corn syrup off his fingers. He's like, corn syrup. And it's so fun.
Like fake blood?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's so good. It's just...
Wow.
I love a movie that's like scary, but not genuinely scary. But a movie that tries to be scary while also just being tasty. Like, it's a tasty movie. It is. It does it right.
In some of our favorite movies, it's sounding like there's this trend of movies that don't try to be something that they're not.
Yes, exactly.
You know, they don't try too hard to subvert expectations or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely has a goal and it achieves it. And when it's got that Wes Craven cameo, because he's in it, and he's a janitor dressed as Freddy Krueger, and it's just very conspicuous. It's like, why is this...
Who directed Scream?
Wes Craven.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, and it's it's so funny. I was actually reading up on it. Some of the things he did that like the board who like does movie ratings, they're like, "Oh, you're not allowed to do this because it's only rated PG-13," and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna do it anyways." Like there's one iconic scene in the very beginning when Casey Becker's when she's gutted and hung from a tree. When the camera dramatically pans on her, every other frame is cut, so it's kind of this jagged zoom in. They specifically told him to do that because it's one long like time by time whatever frame. It would have been too much.
Okay.
Cut it.
Yeah, it needs to kind of not be as direct to the audience. There has to be something there to like separate them from their suspension of disbelief. Yeah.
It's
because it's like there's this idea of like people are going to be psychologically warped if they're exposed to too much violence, so we have to find a way to like separate reality from the surreality in these movies.
Oh, and it's also got that guy in it, the Fonz. What's his name?
Oh my God.
The dad from Holes.
Something Winkler. Henry Winkler.
Yes! He's in it! He's one of my favorite actors.
What kind of a name is Henry Winkler?
I really hope that's his real name.
I'm 90% sure that is the Fonz's name.
I'm sure that's his name.
Dr. Saperstein.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! I forget. He's in everything.
He's in Scream?
Yeah, he's the principal of the high school.
Oh, of course.
And so, of course, once this string of murders starts taking place, there are like kids who like try to pull pranks by dressing up as the killer because the costume is literally a Halloween store dollar costume.
Yeah.
So kids go around and he rips the masks off their faces like, you know what the best punishment would be for scum like you is if I gutted you and hung you from a tree.
Jesus.
And it's just it's having, anyone could be the killer. It plays on that kind of that red herring joke, and it's like he's not the killer. The principal isn't the killer, but it's so good.
It's pretty ridiculous. I've never seen that movie because I swear to God, it's been like the most popular Halloween costume for the last 15 years. Yeah, 15 to 20 years. Yeah. Like, Jesus.
I'm not gonna go into describing my feelings about all the sequels because they're just bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Scream 2. It's fun, but it's just fun. It's like,
Fair.
you know, it's like
That's
eating
fair.
leftovers.
So it's
They're
not
never
on your
as-
list, is what I'm hearing.
No.
Okay.
But I feel like if I'm going to watch all four, I will have to watch them consecutively, like night by night. Otherwise, there's no momentum, and I'll lose
Yeah.
the desire to.
Fair enough.
So it's either a binge fest or I'll take the first and leave it at that.
Okay, that's fair. So what's your number 2?
My number 2, Halloween Town.
Ooh,
Because
yes!
that's just so fun.
I wanted to put it on my list
I
so bad,
absolutely
but
put it on my
I
list.
couldn't put it on there because I've gone so many years without actually watching it.
I watch it every year at least twice.
I don't deserve to have it on my list.
I love
is
it.
how I feel about that.
It's good.
That was a magical experience the first time that aired on the Disney Channel.
I remember the first time I watched it, there's a line where she's talking about how, I must be a witch. I get deja vu all the time. And maybe it's actually just me seeing into the future. And me as a kid hearing that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get deja vu all the time.
Oh my gosh, I'm a witch.
Yeah, it was like this moment where I'm like, maybe if I focus hard enough on my deja vu, I can reverse it. And
I've had that thought before.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that movie for a hot minute had me thinking maybe our grandmother is a witch and maybe I have some sort of magical
She has the same
powers.
wardrobe and the same hairstyle.
Honestly,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
It's gosh, it's
Like,
just, it's such a good movie. It's like it takes you somewhere. It absolutely does. It's like mentally, emotionally, it's just it's beautiful.
It's a very pure-hearted movie and it's a lot of fun, but at the same time there's definitely a creepy element to it.
I got nightmares from the first time I saw it. Genuinely, the villain, what's his name?
Calabar.
Oh god.
Calabar.
Yeah, Cal.
Jeez, it's such
spooky dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
and I'll tell you the
haunted
thing.
Movie theater was his lair. Like, ooh.
I'll tell you the thing that I think makes it work so well for children, and I mean, that movie in and of itself is a work of art. It's a masterpiece. The idea of our mother falling prey to this charming guy who's actually a bad guy. I think that, not so much for us because like our parents have been together forever.
Yeah.
But definitely for kids who grew up in broken homes and had to kind of experience their parents falling apart and then their mother or father trying to get into a new relationship. Like that it's a very real fear, is maybe the person that my parent gets involved with is not going to be a good person. Maybe they're going to be a monster.
Maybe he's an evil warlock. Like,
yeah.
And it's so funny that you mentioned that because when I was thinking of movies that I had watched as a kid around Halloween, there was another Disney movie, My Mom Has a Date with a Vampire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, same exact
And the movie works really well.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually a really awesome movie as well. Like Disney Channel's had some serious failures as far as Halloween themed movies, but Halloween Town 1 and 2, I would say.
Yep.
And then Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
That movie,
they're a hit.
I feel like I've only actually ever seen it like once, but it left such an impression on me. Like there's one scene where the vampire walks into an alley and then he just walks up the side of a wall and disappears. And me as a kid seeing that was like, whoa.
Like that shot in Van Helsing of Dracula.
Yeah. That's I had that weird connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halloween Town. That's a movie I can either put on my cozy jammies and watch it while eating some tasty treats, or I can be in the kitchen making tasty treats while just listening to the little tune.
Pumpkin snacks.
Pumpkin? Oh, I should have gotten pumpkin seeds. Man, now I got the munchies.
I have been eating pumpkin seeds every single day for the last 3 weeks.
Where are they?
In my work bag. I eat them while I'm filling out paperwork.
Wise of you to hide them from me.
It's bad. And you know what's funny is I've gotten all my coworkers into it. They actually bought, variety flavors of pumpkin seeds that they brought into work to share with me yesterday.
Do you like the variety?
I am a sucker for the classic. That is my all-time favorite. But they brought in a dill pickle flavor, which is pretty good. It wasn't bad. Honestly, I feel like the dill pickle flavoring could have been a little sharper on it. It was subtle.
More dill and less pickle.
Sure. But the other one they brought in that was really good was cracked black pepper. That was nice.
That's too spicy for me.
It's not like spicy, but it's got some kick to it.
Yeah, I look for that in a seed.
But I like the saltiness of regular David's pumpkin seeds. Oh, and the other thing is like they brought in Spits.
I was gonna say, what brand do they use?
Spits are okay.
Spits have a weak shell. It's a thin shell. I'm not a
pumpkin
fan.
seeds in general have a thin shell. I eat them shell and all.
Oh, that's right.
Which we got into an argument because they're like, "You're not supposed to eat the shell, Travis."
You absolutely can.
And I'm like, "Hey, you don't tell me what to do. I eat whatever shell I like. You shut the hell up, boss." And then I got fired. That actually didn't happen. But they did think I was crazy because I was just eating the shells. They got little baby gums or whatever.
Let me guess, they eat their eggs without the shells too.
Oh, God.
Those sickos.
I know, right? But getting back to
pumpkins are totally on topic. Seeds
I mean,
and all.
yeah, this is
But
true.
yeah.
This is true.
So Halloween Town is my number 2 because it's a well-rounded film for whatever purpose.
Straight up,
yeah,
Debbie Reynolds, God rest her soul, the grandmother that we all wanted.
I think part of us did have.
That's true.
For a while.
Yep.
But yeah, so then.
Thank you, Disney.
Yeah, God bless.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah. So that leaves my number 1.
Yes.
Halloween.
Okay, that's my number 1.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Because
Yes.
it's Halloween.
Like, how can you have a Halloween without watching Halloween?
No.
It's
no,
Michael Myers, the
can't.
original man in the mask.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, no, you can't.
Like, enough
Sacrilege.
said.
Yeah.
Halloween is number 1 without a doubt.
Okay, movies that take place on Halloween already are an absolute must for me to watch in the month of October because it's like, but it is Halloween and it's Halloween there. And it sets the mood, which is why Monster House was actually also one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, so we've agreed Halloween is our number 1 must see. There's not a whole lot more else that we could words, you know?
Yeah.
Excitement because there's a new one coming out. That's super fun. Maybe we could do a trailer park on that at some point.
Heck yeah.
I think yeah, because it's.
Yeah.
Does it come out this month? Is it coming out on Halloween?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Oh my God, I gotta Google it. Keep talking.
But yeah, what's so exciting is I have actually only ever seen the first 2 Halloween movies because those are the ones that I stole from relatives a while ago. I was babysitting at their house and I couldn't help but notice that they had the first 2 Halloween movies in their DVD case and I'm like, whoa, sick. So anyways, I borrowed them and we have them still in our possession and I watched them, spectacular, and I never got around to watching any of the other ones because I figure nobody talks about
October
them.
19th.
Ooh.
So it's coming out in a couple weeks.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people are saying that movie doesn't take any of the other films into canon.
Okay.
They're just picking up where the second one, not where it left off, but they're only considering.
It's that.
Yeah.
Assuming that there's an infinite number of universes.
Yes.
And each different Halloween movie after number 2 takes place in a different universe.
Yes.
This takes place in the universe where Laurie Strode is the common denominator.
Yes.
Got you.
I haven't seen the other ones. I heard, spoiler alert, that Laurie Strode is killed off.
What?
In the 5th one? The Halloween Resurrection?
Yeah, I'm gonna retcon that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you can't do that. That's the whole point. She's the heroine that lives.
Yeah. Heroin.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Lives on in all of us, I think. But yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Yes, that movie's it looks super good.
It does. It really does.
And
because I feel like it's the kind of trailer that makes you think that it revealed too much. But I feel like when we actually see it, we're gonna be like, oh, I see what they were kind of teasing around now, because they kind of showed those iconic scenes of somebody in a bedroom and killers behind him, and we don't know. Or they don't know, but we know that dramatic irony. Sure. I saw that they were kind of teasing at that, and I really hope that they're gonna stick with that classic horror movie vibe of we know and they don't, and it's happening now.
Oh my God.
I'm very excited.
Okay, so the director of this new Halloween movie, David Gordon Green.
Good name.
I was looking him up the other day.
Squared.
Because he directed what was it? He's directed like raunchy comedies. Eastbound and Down, The Sitter, Your Highness, Pineapple Express.
The Sitter?
Yeah. Not the Netflix one.
No, it's Babysitter.
This is something much more foul. But it's cracked me up because it's like those kinds of movies, again, don't take themselves seriously at all. And I think that this Halloween movie, it looks like it's a Halloween movie being made by a fan who probably cares very much about the movie. He obviously cares about film.
Hope so.
Your Highness was super funny. I liked it. Pineapple Express was kind of like a cult film. Like, it had a huge audience reaction. I think everyone kind of generally appreciated it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good movie. But before we go here, honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. So I don't make an official list, so I'm just kind of trying to think for a minute. I know Monster House was absolutely on that.
Agreed.
Because
that's a very creepy and weird and sad movie.
Yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh.
Have you seen that?
No,
I feel like an idiot because I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's the guy who was the original voice actor for Slinky Dog, who died a few years ago.
Oh.
But it's like there's this weird troll thing that's going around, and it's like trapping kids inside of its body and turning them into these little figurines.
You know, I actually have seen
them.
that because I remember I had these friends, Hannah and Chloe, when I was like
very, very small.
8, and I remember while our mom was chit-chatting with their mom at the coffee table, we were all sitting around in the living room watching it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I never watched movies like that, so I was just like, what the heck is this?
It was weird.
But it was good. I remember liking it.
It's also like super funny because he does these weird segments where he's like talking to himself as other characters, almost like split personality disorder.
Yeah.
And it's like he's in like drag for one character, and he's like British in another, and then he's like a redneck.
Yeah.
Kind of naturally. It's, I don't know, it was really funny. The whole Ernest series is just like good film, good entertainment. It is a good.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
What else for you?
The Shining.
The Shining.
The Shining, absolutely. That movie, it's just for a movie
kind of a Christmas film.
Yes, honestly it is, because of all the snow
and the ghosts from the past.
Yeah.
Or future.
Oh. Okay, there's theories
it's
about
like Scrooge gone wrong.
Unfortunately. I read like part of the book.
Tim.
Oh my gosh.
Red rum.
I've never read the whole book. I think I started reading it, so I can't say for sure, but like there are theories about, is he actually just going insane because of the ghosts, or was he a reincarnation of the original caretaker?
Oh.
Like there's those two theories.
Very interesting.
Because it's like, why wasn't his family affected?
I would like to read the book because I'm curious what the differences are.
And there's a lot of cameos that the director put in there and the writer put in there about, like, there's a scene where you see a man wearing a teddy bear or a bear costume come off of a bed, and then like it's just, there are a lot of like implied like side plots going on between the father and the son Danny, going on, like how like a bear is represented. There's a lot of symbolism, heavy stuff like that. And
it's Kubrick.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I love that movie. I rewatch it all year round.
Yeah.
Which is why it's not on my list, because it's not literally a Halloween movie. It's a scary movie.
Yeah, it'll put you in the spooky mood.
Yeah, which is why I would watch it in the first tender week of October.
Okay.
And reserve the rest of October for Halloween-y movies.
Fair.
But yeah,
fair.
So that's definitely one of my honorable
So I guess kind of
mentions.
in that same vein, not the same genre, but in this kind of movies that are a little spooky, but not necessarily scary or Halloween themed.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
I watched it for the first time last year, and I loved it.
I still haven't seen the film.
Really?
I went and I saw a live performance of it. Yeah.
Oh, how was that?
It was really fun.
Okay.
I thought it was a good time. I feel like I don't know how it can.
Did you feel like Logan Lerman in Perks of Being a Wallflower?
A little bit. But yeah, it was fun because I was with a bunch of drama friends. So of course we're all in the audience. We're all just like, ooh, this is gonna theater. So like, it was a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a lot of fun, and I would love to see the movie.
It's a fun movie. The music is surprisingly great.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting to like it so much, but I did. Mm-hmm. Tim Curry at his peak. Got Susan Sarandon, who I love her to death. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with her in it that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. The closest thing was probably The Lovely Bones, which she was like the best part of that. Her and Stanley Tucci rocked. Yeah. Mark Wahlberg, just quit, man. Just quit. I don't like you.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, I guess that's cool. You've clearly got great taste in podcasts and YouTube channels, but I don't enjoy your movies at all.
Which one is the one in The Sixth Sense?
Bruce Willis.
No.
Haley Joel Osment. Oh, Donnie Wahlberg.
That's the one I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in Saw and he gets his head smashed.
and
by like a weird pendulum hammer.
Yeah, he's got a poor affinity for bathrooms.
That's true that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Do you know why people like my brother's movies? I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I mentioned that.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Great
Sixth
movie.
Sense. Absolutely.
Oh gosh, I think about
There's a
it all
spooky
the time.
M. Night Shyamalan's best work. Rest of his stuff, not so great.
No.
Signs is okay.
I actually really like Signs. It was a little cheeky, but I liked it. It was a little too, keep swinging. It's like,
swing away, Joaquin.
How did she know? No, I don't buy it. She didn't know.
The Village is the worst.
Oh!
Don't watch The Village. It sucks.
I watched it for the first time 3 days ago.
Yes, so did Megan.
Yeah, I
and
thought
Aaron
it was really
and Sam,
good.
they all watched it together, and she texted me. She's like, "Oh, have you seen The Village?" And I was like, "Yeah, I hate it." And she's just like, "Oh,
I thought it was really good.
I don't like it.
Why?
Because I wanted the hedgehog demons to be real."
Oh, okay. Yeah, that I absolutely...
Stupid twist.
I mean, okay.
The fact that it's like a secluded little Handmaiden's Tale village, and it's like in the 1800s, but also it takes place in the 2000s. Dumb.
Okay.
I hated it.
Funny anecdote. When Mom was describing the plot to me, she's like, "Oh, they live in this village that's like it's like those people. You know, the people who don't like use technology." And I said, "Oh,
Amish."
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
I said, "Oh, you mean the Amish?" Full sincerity, I said Amish because I had been reading something on the Amityville Horror, and so I had that short A or that long A stuck in my head, and I just said Amish, and
it. Wow, that's funny.
And it just made me laugh, and then we put it on because we had to at that point.
Wonderful.
But yeah, so The Sixth Sense though.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. Love that movie.
Okay, so we just watched this the other night, and it was your first time seeing it. Honorable mention for me, and it would be in my top 5 if I didn't already have films that are more necessary. Van Helsing. With Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. Ooh, love it.
I really loved it because of just visually, like the costumes and the time it was spent in.
That movie
or the time it took place in the setting.
Worked on a very limited budget.
I wouldn't have known that.
Which is hilarious if you
great.
watch the behind the scenes, because their props are constantly breaking, their costumes are constantly tearing.
R.I.P.
But it looks so good, and it's so much fun. And it combines like the top 3, you know? Yeah. Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman. Plus sexy vampire brides. Plus Hugh Jackman, who's the most gorgeous and perfect human being to ever be assembled on this earth.
Yeah.
The only thing missing is his singing and dancing. But if you follow it up with The Greatest Showman, you're good to go.
You could pretend it's in the same universe.
Oh my God. That's what happens when Kate Beckinsale dies?
Unfortunately.
He marries Michelle Williams and starts a circus?
Yeah.
Headcanon accepted.
But, yeah, so I'm not a huge action fan. So, like, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bored once the fighting started.
Yeah.
But then once
it's gratuitous.
But once it ended, I was like, cool, vampires.
Because they're
yeah, it had that to it, which I really liked.
For sure.
Because I love the flair. I love the drama, the teeth and the clothes and the walking on the walls.
It's very flashy, very extra, very cheesy, but also elegant in a way.
I feel like if you're gonna live forever, you might as well play it up.
You're gonna be extra like Dracula, isn't that?
It's like, how can you not? Especially with back then.
Oh,
you could get away with it.
Yeah.
More than you could today, unfortunately.
And Helson, you got the long flowing clothes and a ponytail. Yeah. It's good stuff. So I guess before we wrap up, any other honorable mentions you can think of that people need to know about?
Sorry. My phone going off. The Child's Play movie.
Chucky? Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's always been a concept that haunts me. I was about to say the Child's Play movies,
plural, but then I realized that the other ones aren't that good.
The first 2 are really good.
I've never seen the second one. I've only seen the first one. Yeah.
Oh, the second one's good. I like it a lot.
There's one, towards the end, the line where you've got oh my gosh, what's the kid's name? Is it Danny? No, I'm still thinking.
No, that's The
still thinking The
Shining.
Shining. Yeah, whatever. Child actor number one.
Yeah.
When he's like, he has Chucky pinned in the fireplace with like the furnace guard, and he's holding a lit match.
this.
And
I'm your friend.
He's like, but we were supposed to be friends till the end. And
Yeah.
He's like, this is the
end,
end, friend.
Yes.
No! And
That's-
he bursts into flames.
That's the first one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
It
yeah.
is the most. It's like this kid. What drama
The
school did he
perfect
go to? It is.
Badass ending line delivered by a child.
But it wasn't even the ending line.
Well,
There was-
okay, yeah.
That was only the first time he caught flame. And then
Yeah.
he like ended up getting chopped into a million pieces, and then he jumped out of a.
So good.
I wish that had been the end. I honestly wish that the movie had cut there and the sequel had picked up literally where it cut off.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like it would have been so much cooler.
Agreed.
Because it's just like I mean Chucky got this little kid sent to a psych ward. That would have been so much more like just
Yep.
satisfying seeing him finish him
For sure.
instead of the mom who for some reason has perfect gun aim, shooting his arms and legs off from like 10
She
foot
rolled in that
distance.
20. What can we say?
That's the only
It's ranged
explanation.
hits, you know.
Yeah. Practiced cop couldn't do it, but I guess this Cole's shopper could.
It's funny how horrifying those movies seemed when we were younger.
I watched it for the first time about a year ago, and I
It's a-
was terrified of the doll growing up, having never even seen the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So, like, literally, like, it chilled me to my bones, this
Yeah.
doll. I didn't even know why I was scared of it, but I was. And then I watched the movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, and I think as kids, the idea of our toys coming alive trying to kill us is genuinely horrifying. And
Oh, yeah.
seeing it play out on screen,
Especially knowing how some of us treat our toys, it's like, well, I'm not surprised.
I my toys break a lot, but it's because I play with them well.
Yeah.
I was an imaginative child. Not much has changed.
A lot of my Barbies got guillotined, not gonna lie. They had it coming.
Goodness.
But yeah, so it's a good movie. I really like it.
For sure.
Yeah. But
Well, I think that's a good stopping point. We've talked about a lot of movies here, more than our top 5, which is totally fine.
31 days in October.
There's
A lot of hours.
gotta think of a good way to spend it. Like maybe watching some movies and eating some pumpkins and rotting out all of our teeth. Yeah, anyways.
Sounds about right.
That's October.
Yeah.
Um,
The first week of it anyways.
Yeah. So in the comments below, fellas, folks, guys, gals, and ghouls, let us know, what are your favorite spoopy movies to watch during the Halloween season? I hope you guys enjoyed our podcast that we've been doing. If you have any ideas of things you would like to hear us talk about, feel free to leave us some suggestions. Check out our other videos. We got a lot of first impressions we've been doing lately. We've got some trailer parks we just put out, and I guess moving forward, stay spooky.
Moving forward.
Moving forward. Yeah, wait, what did I say?
No, I said moving forward, like a pun. I tried to.
Oh, I like it.
I should stick
Yeah.
to the pumpkins instead of the puns.
the pumpkins. Stay nerdy, guys.